Incredible news overnight as Joe Biden promises multiple stimulus checks until the pandemic is over overnight. And $600 FPUC retroactive to the date at which it started. And hazard pay. Meantime, he says, I need to get you a down payment right now and quickly. It won't be everything that you want, but it's everything that we can get right now. And what's going to be hatched? In the next 24 hours, as quickly as that, President Donald Trump may sign a deal that Mitch McConnell says is imminent. The deal provisions look like extension of UI, extension of PUA, FPUC at $300 a week, potentially not retroactive, and a lot of stuff for big business. Meantime, $2,400 for SSI and SSDI come in January. Hazard pay come in January. Multiple stimulus checks come in January. But what are you going to get during the holiday season? You're going to get CARES Act 1 money because I continue to get that money for viewers right now. So stay with me because no one's finding to get you this money. It's a lot of money. One viewer got $10,000 in the last 24 hours. Escalated benefits, CARES Act 1 money, EIDL, those developments and more. I'm so excited you joined me because we're going to get through this together. And this is Afternoons LALATE. Hey, good afternoon, everybody. This is Afternoons LALATE, taped shortly after 1 o'clock Pacific Standard Time, where the current situation on the negotiations is as follows. Stimulus will go into the CR. Nancy and Steve Mnuchin are not the negotiators. Rather, Nancy Pelosi with Mitch McConnell, per the prodding of Joe Biden. President Donald Trump says that he will sign a deal, but what are the deal provisions? I'll be getting to those shortly. Meantime, please subscribe, because in this recording, I'm going to show you how you can get thousands of dollars money right now. Whether you're elderly, whether you're single, whether you're an adult, whether you're on SSI, whether you're on SSDI or Social Security or railroad benefits or a veteran, I'm going to get you money right now because ultimately all this from Congress is a lot of confusing and a lot of confusion, but I'm getting you money right now. Thousands of dollars that you are owed, that's sitting at your cities and counties for you right now. And boy, in the last 24 to 40 hours, no less than 4 states announced massive programs for money for you right now. This is different than what's going on with Congress. So I want to ensure you get this money, and I have developments across the board. I'm going taped, I'm going live, and the important thing is that this money is available for you now. So please subscribe to this channel, go to the front of this channel, hit the subscribe button, hit the alert button, and also like this video. It really helps in the algorithm rankings. In this video, I'll be going over what this current situation is on the federal level. Mitch McConnell, Nancy Pelosi, what are the deal items? What is likely to get passed? How quickly will it get passed? What's included? What's not included? Moreover, what's coming in January? And why is Joe Biden saying, I'm not going to burn bridges now. I'm not going to burn a stake. I'm going to get certain things done, but this is a down payment, in his own words, for the big multiple stimulus checks coming in January. Okay. And then I'll be getting to that money, $2,400 SSI and SSDI, explaining where that will be. Then I'll be turning to money right now for you. And what's important to understand is that today's a little bit different in recording schedule of this channel because there's so much breaking. So I'm going to have this video 15 minutes after this will be purple. But purple will be a little bit different today because 4 states announced massive grant programs in the last 48 hours. So I'll be going through those 4 states additionally on top of everything I normally do. Being a Mitch will be a different recording today. It will be a live recording of Being a Mitch, and that recording will go over UI, PUA, and FPUC, because after taping Holidays LALATE, I saw how many questions you have about what's happening to your UI, your PUA, and your FPUC in the next 4 weeks with all this confusion in Congress. It's something that really requires a Q&A, and I'm going to be here answering your questions. And then after that is a special also live recording of EIDL tonight, a new special in which I answer your questions about EIDL and how to get EIDL and how to fill out the application. All right, let's get To the breaking news. The breaking news as you sit here today is that Mitch McConnell, Nancy Pelosi, Donald Trump, and the moderates all say that a deal will be hatched as quickly as the next 24 hours in a CR. The continuing resolution, the budget bill, will have stimulus in it following the prodding of this channel over the weekend. That was the success story. But the deal provisions may not be as exciting as viewers would like. The deal provisions are still being hammered out, and as we sit here today, we don't know what they are. What we do know is that Mitch McConnell and Nancy Pelosi met no less than a half an hour ago. And during those negotiations, Mitch McConnell says, I want to have liability insurance in it, and you don't have it in there. And she said, I want to have state and local, and you don't have it in there. Neither of the sides said, I want to have stimulus checks in there, and you don't have it in there. No one fought for stimulus checks. No one fought for eviction moratorium. No one fought for mortgage forbearance. It's a disgrace. So will those three absolutely adamant, mandatory, required provisions be put in there? Hard to say. All I can say is that no one's fighting for them right now. Between Mitch, the president, the moderates bill, and everyone else, no one has raised their hand and say, where's the stimulus check? No one has raised their hand and say, where's the eviction protection? And no one has raised their hand and say, where's the mortgage forbearance? With that, if that is the case, then millions of Americans will be evicted on January 1. Millions of Americans could lose their home on January 1 because these people are more concerned about Gavin Newsom and Andrew Cuomo. They're more concerned about liability for businesses than ensuring you get a stimulus check if you get laid off from the business. So what are the deal provisions and what could happen? We know the following will be deal provisions, and these are the following. 1, your UI, your unemployment assistance, will not expire. And if it has expired, because you ran out of weeks, those weeks will suddenly now recontinue and continue for a few more weeks. UI and PUA will be extended. So how many weeks? That remains unclear. The proposals are anywhere from 1 month of extension to several months of extension. My belief it will be a 1 month extension. Next, PUA may be offered. Mitch McConnell did not offer PUA, but the moderates do want to offer PUA. It's potentially likely that the PUA will be for 1 month, not retroactive. The PUA offered by the moderates is $300 a week, ironically exactly the number that Mitch McConnell originally had floated in no less than 3 or 4 of his bills that Nancy Pelosi rejected. Today, she's supporting exactly the number she said she would never support, $300 a week. It is not retroactive, and it is not for several months. It would potentially be only for 1 month, but yet these deal provisions still need to be negotiated. Third, is there retroactive FPUC? No. Is there hazard pay? No. Is there SSI and SSDI? No. Is there stimulus check? No. Is there multiple stimulus checks? No. So where are all these things going to land? Joe Biden last night, in really one of the most encouraging press conferences we've had this week, said around as early as January 20th, he will debut a massive stimulus bill that will have multiple stimulus checks in there. That as many stimulus checks as needed to get you through the end of this pandemic, which at the moment looks like it's going to be at least June 2021. 2, hazard pay, retroactive. 3, FPUC, and he specifically mentioned FPUC, retroactive at $600 a week. And 4, SSI, SSDI, Social Security and Railroad benefits, either in that or as a standalone bill. And then additional things that you would likely need as well, like rent, food, EIDL, and similar. What's important to understand is that Joe Biden wants to give you, let's turn to SSI and SSDI, $2,400, $200 a month, every month until December 31st of next year. So that would likely, if it started in January, give you $2,400 across the year 2021, plus up to 20% lifetime increase. So if you're currently getting $1,000, you get $1,200 lifetime. This is on top of the $2,400 stimulus for SSI and SSDI and VA railroad benefits, and a step up based upon a new benchmark. This is all really incredible. It would not happen in what's happening today. Then multiple stimulus checks. How much? Ultimately, this has been the real microcosm of confusion and lack of clarity. The good news is that Joe Biden has said he will give you multiple stimulus packages, multiple stimulus checks, and that Senator Harris, now VP-elect Harris, said $2,000 a month every month for at least 6 months, and that $1,200 doesn't cut it. It's believed to be that that will be consistent with the proposals of January. Next, hazard pay. Joe Biden in his transition papers says he wants to pay hazard pay. He's not given a dollar value for it. The Temple of Doom's hazard pay was $10,000 a month, $10,000 based upon $13 an hour from January to 60 days after the pandemic ends. Finally, some EIDL, some rent, and more. So, as you sit here today, what would you get under this CR with stimulus? And what should you be doing right now, as one viewer said on Holidays LA? You should be on social media right now, taking this video and sharing it with McConnell's communications director, and McConnell's press secretary, and say, Mitch, you're missing 3 things that are critical: a stimulus check, eviction moratorium, and mortgage forbearance. Get it in there. Stimulus checks, hashtag stimulus checks or shutdown. Hashtag stimulus checks or shutdown. This government should not operate without sending out stimulus checks, an eviction moratorium, and a mortgage forbearance. President Donald Trump met with Mitch McConnell yesterday, and Mitch McConnell said, ultimately, I want to make sure that I'm doing what the president wants to do. Today, Steve Mnuchin said the president is rejecting the moderates bill. And then today, the president in the Oval Office said he would sign any deal that Mitch McConnell reaches. So the president is deferring to Mitch. Mitch is making sure that the president likes everything. And Mnuchin, the president, is saying very clear they're rejecting the problem solver's offer. What do I think will be the deal provisions? I believe that liability insurance will get in there because that is a break or make deal provision for Mitch McConnell. I don't think that $250 billion for state and local will get in there. I do believe that PPP, where restaurant owners can get a nice $2 billion check during the holidays, will get in there. I believe that PUA, FPUC at $300 and UI will get in there. And then after that, I do believe that if you push hard and they wake up and they act rationally, they would put a stimulus check, eviction moratorium, and mortgage forbearance in there. The problem is that no one is fighting for those deal provisions, and they should be. So now let's turn to the other big issues as we sit here today, which is CARES Act 1 money, escalated benefits, and EIDL. On Holidays LA, which went live minutes before this recording, it was very important to see the reflections of viewers and their thought processes upon hearing these sort of these twists and turns from Mitch McConnell. And I could see that a large number of viewers, which I always believe is about 70% of the viewers of this channel, are on some type of unemployment benefits throughout 2020. And that the importance of understanding what's going on with your unemployment benefits is critical. So join me for Being a Mitch live an hour from now, in which I'll answer your UI benefit questions. But what I want to do for UI right now is escalated benefits. Escalated benefits is not dependent upon your city, your county, your state, or the federal government. Escalated benefits is referring to those weeks of unemployment benefits you had already, where you were paid an amount that was not the correct amount. You were paid $100 a week or $120 a week when you should have been paid $300, $400, $500 a week. How do you raise it up? Very simple. Get your 2019 tax return. Scan it. Get it in your computer. Take a picture of it. Look at it. If you made over $30,000, if you made over $25,000, or if you made over $18,000, this is something you should do. If you made less than $18,000, doesn't really help you too much. Then what do? You write a letter. Dear Unemployment Office, please see my tax return for 2019. I think I qualify for additional weeks of benefits. Please get back to me kindly. Thank you. And send it off to them. And then call them the day after today, and then call them the day after that until you get an answer. This is how much you're going to get. Very, very simple. If you've been on unemployment benefits for 20 weeks since February, and you made over $30,000, then you'll raise your benefits about $300 a week and get $9,000 in your account, bam, right now. If you made over $25,000 in 2019, you'll raise your benefits about $200 a week and gets about $6,000 in your account. account, bam, right now. And if you made over $18,000 a week, you'll raise your benefits about $50 a week, and we'll get about $1,500, bam, right in your account right now. Next, EIDL. It's important to understand with EIDL that this instrument is there now, and it may not be there forever. And I want you to get EIDL. EIDL is very simple by going to sba.gov and applying for the economic injury disaster. For the first time in many, many months, I will be bringing back a actual recording dedicated just to EIDL. No one has made more recordings and got to more viewers, anywhere between $5 to $25 million in EIDL, but this channel, for people who are Uber and Lyft drivers, Airbnb, truck drivers, cabbie drivers, restaurant owners. I've gotten people fortunes. And so if you have questions about EIDL, stay tuned for that recording, which will be the fourth one on Afternoons LALATE, a special live recording of EIDL. Let's go back to CARES Act 1. Shortly after this video on Purple, I will be going over what's going on with these states, because states are now stepping up and saying the federal government is not sending out stimulus checks. The federal government is not doing the type of stimulus they need to be doing. So we're going to start sending out stimulus checks of our own. And what's important to understand is there's a state CARES Act 1 money, then there's religious stimulus, and then there's political action group stimulus. As you've seen over the last 4 days, I've detailed how in Kentucky, Louisiana, Mississippi, Alabama, and similar states, viewers have gotten free rent programs, paying 6, 8, 12 months of rent, but they weren't the city, they weren't the county, and they weren't the state. So who are those groups? That's why you have to follow this channel and subscribe, because if you go on Purple Power Live, viewers are revealing these details. I got money in Mississippi for rent. How did you get it for rent? It's not on the state's website. Because there's another organization that's paying for rent. Who is it? If you missed it, that's why you reach out to the volunteers. If you missed who is launching a $25,000 business grant program, that's why you reach out to the volunteers. If you missed that New York has a rent program for its citizens in the city and how one viewer got $10,000 in rent just a few days ago, that's why you stay with me. Because ultimately these things sort of pop up here, and my job is to make sure you get this money right now. Remember, you're entitled to rent, then utilities, and then food. Start with rent with your city, your county, your state, then go to food, and finally end with then go to utilities, and finally end with food. If you have questions or comments in today's video, drop them in comments below. I might feature them in tomorrow's recording. Coming up on Purple, I'll be going over those new massive stimulus being announced by states across the country just in the last 24 to 48 hours. And I'll be going over more details on how you can get these grants right now. Then, Bean and Mitch will be live, going on over unemployment, FPUC, UI, and PUA, in line to this new deal that's coming around the corner within the next few hours, potentially. And finally, after that, a special live recording of EIDL. As always, stay informed, stay smiling, and stay LA for more.